I looked up, there was a couple cars already flying in the air. While the cars were in the air, they were already in flames. So I'm assuming it was going so fast that it caused the flames in the air already.
That's a witness describing the crash on Saturday in North Las Vegas that killed 9 people. Good evening, everyone. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Jim Snyder.
And I'm Marie Mortera. We're hearing the 911 calls from that multi-vehicle crash that left 9 dead, 7 victims from one family alone.
Katie Munch was there to cover the story first on Saturday. She's here in the studio with us tonight with continuing coverage. And Katie, those calls really are troubling to listen to. It's our big story tonight.
Yeah, you can hear the fear and horror in the voices of countless callers who tried so desperately to get help for those children and adults injured in the crash. I must warn you, this might be hard for you to hear.
911, police, fire, or medical?
Medical, police, Commerce, and Cheyenne, a bad accident. There's bodies everywhere. There's a baby dead.
That child, one of 9 people killed in the crash in North Las Vegas Saturday. Witnesses struggled to explain the tragedy in front of them.
It's people that did or they hit them. It's an accident. I can't explain it, please.
Treasure there?
Body here. Yes. Children, adults.
North Las Vegas police say Gary Robertson was going 100 miles per hour when he ran a red light at Cheyenne and Commerce, causing a 6-vehicle pileup. Many of them left burnt and charred.
3 cars, 4 cars. It's a lot of people. Come on.
Okay, hold on. Listen. I have the call started. Tell me what they look like.
Oh my God. It's a lot of people. He's on the floor.
In total, 15 people were involved in the crash. Those who died included Robertson, who triggered the crash, and his passenger. One of the cars involved carrying a single family with 4 children and 3 adults inside.
Are there any?
Oh my God. Is that a baby? Oh my God. Is that a baby? Oh my God.
What's going on?
We need that. We need paramedics. It's a baby. It's a baby. Oh my God.
What's wrong with the baby?
I don't know.
One woman who was left in critical condition after the crash, Tiffany May, is doing a little bit better. Her family says she's no longer in ICU.
He wasn't going to make it. And I'm like, oh, yes, he is. I flipped out.
First at 11, after a near-death experience, this Las Vegas boy is recovering at home. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Snyder. Glad you're with us tonight. Marie has the night off. The mother of that local boy, who is thankfully back home from the hospital now, tells us he still has a long road ahead. And News 3's Katie Munch is here to share their story.
Yeah, 6-year-old Zaire had a multi-system inflammatory syndrome. It's linked to COVID-19. Now his mom is sending a message to hopefully help other parents.
The doctors came out and said he's going to die because he only had 10% of his heart left.
Sharella Ruffin says her 6-year-old son was left in a coma after contracting multi-system inflammatory syndrome, or MISC. It shows up in kids ages 5 to 13 years old, weeks after a COVID-19 infection.
He looked at like not a kid, like this is something that an adult would go through. You know what I mean? He wasn't normal like that. It didn't even look like my child.
According to the CDC, there have been 6,851 cases reported in the U.S., and 55 children have died from it. There was only one thing that can save Zaire, an ECMO machine. The tool provides oxygen to blood, then pumps it back into the body. But there wasn't one in Nevada. Luckily, the family found one in Utah.
The catch was with the echo, they had to fly with it, and they never flew with an echo machine in their life. So this was the first time that a kid got flew with an echo machine.
This is Zaire in the hospital. He is slowly recovering, but his mom says it was a scary process.
It was times that I couldn't leave the hospital. I slept in my car because I didn't want to leave my baby. It was a point where he couldn't talk because he had tubes down his mouth and his arms, his neck. He had 8 different surgeries.
To make matters worse, she had over $1 million in medical bills.
You send me a bill that high, I'm throwing it in the trash. Period, point blank. I wish I would pay $1 million bill. Ain't thinking about no money, no bills. You thinking about if your kid died, what would you do?
Yeah, her child's life is priceless. The CDC says early symptoms of MIS-C include fatigue, headache, sore throat, or fever. Zaire now has to see specialists in Utah, and the medical bills, as you heard, are piling up. If you'd like to help this family, we've included a link to the family's GoFundMe page on our website, news3lv.com.
The clock ticks on getting rid of thousands of acres of grass that nobody really uses. It just looks good. It's the result of that law we've been talking about, signed last summer, that requires the removal of what's known as non-functional turf. So we want to see where things stand today. Our Jeff Gillen is live for us on some grass, the kind you stand on, not anything else. Jeff, what do you have to tell us?
Yeah, that's another story, Jim, but we won't go there. But yeah, here's what you have to remember, folks. I mean, the grass beneath me, 73 gallons of water a year to survive. It's a busy Thursday along Valley Verde in Henderson. The landscaping crew for the Green Valley Ranch HOA is removing more grass. It's some of the 400,000 square feet that HOA plans to remove over the next few years. What you're seeing is Assembly Bill 356 in action. Signed last summer, it requires non-functional turf to be removed in southern Nevada by January 1st, 2027. Zane Marshall is the Southern Nevada Water Authority's Director of Resources.
By taking that turf out and removing that consumptive use in the valley, it will save us 9.5 billion gallons per year, which is approximately 10% of our water supply.
If the grass you see only gets walked on by a landscaper, chances are it's non-functional. It's the grass by streets, in medians, by malls or businesses. The SNWA says there are 5,000 acres of non-functional turf in the valley. It's 30% of the turf we have. Starting last summer, a committee formed to hash out the details about what grass goes and what stays. What stays?
It's turf in parks and schools. It's turf that's being used for sporting activities or programmed for recreational events.
What goes?
So this is streetscape, entryways to HOA communities, and turf in circles, medians.
An amount of grass, 150 square feet per unit, will be allowed in multifamily developments. In most office park settings, grass will not be allowed. Our drought is getting worse. Last summer, federal officials declared a water shortage on Lake Mead for this current year. The SNWA says more people and businesses are turning to its program that pays to get rid of grass.
So businesses and other customers in the community, we've seen an increase at 85% in the last couple of months in applications. And in single-family residents, which again, AB 356 doesn't apply to, we've seen a 100% increase in applications in the last few months.
So back now live here, an important fact, single-family homes are not targeted by this turf removal law. Now, if you do want to get rid of your turf, the Water Authority pays you $3 a square foot.
Hi, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan from News 3 Las Vegas. We want to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Remember, you can always see more of our videos by clicking on the video links. And also don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our YouTube updates. Thanks for watching.